Certain. Like the week prior and the week afore that. Impressive foresight you wield. Should apply to join the Order of the Ascendant. No, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. I'm Officer Babylon Kaur, head of aggressive acquisitions and persons elimination on Paradise Island. Let no one say I can't be official when circumstances merit. Although if you were keen on continuing to draw breath, perhaps you and I could broker a deal. There are Protectorate vitals need bled. You could do the bleeding. I want the Protectorate war effort exsanguinated. You want into the Vox Relay. You help me, I help you. Unusual refers to every turncoat and is not a halfway strong enough phrase. Try gormless cretins who can not so much as wipe their running noses without begging permission. Don't know if there's a DeVries here, not my department. Milver Street befriends the ex-subjects, keeps tabs on them. Ask him, why are you looking for them? Who are they to you? Sorry to be the one to say it, but if your friend is still amidst Protectorate ranks, bet as good as any they may have met their end. This fine settlement is Fairfield. Once in the Protectorate's grasping claws, now Auntie's newest foothold on Paradise Island. When we arrived, it was thick with yaysayers, a hair's breadth away from sacrificing themselves to their old masters. Now they've seen the golden glow of the free market. Entertaining as it is to root out dozens of entrenched, suicidally murderous subjects, I'd take the efficiency of capitulation any day. Friend, they already do whatever I want. Word no ain't in their kin. The issue is they've no initiative and are thus of limited use for anything beyond the menial. Milver Street always insists on an exit interview, too. In a rare change of fate, we actually did have one would-be exitee last month. But the good minister convinced him to stay. Suddenly, you may leave. You can go anywhere, north, south, become a mercenary, a traveling salesperson, a scavenger, meditate on a rock. The world is your shellfish. Poor fool slunk back to his home minutes later. Turncoats don't know how to handle choice. Milver Street used that indecision as a weapon. The silver-tongued bastard. I hope that has sated your curiosity. If it hasn't, seek Milver Street. The subjects are within his purview more than mine, except myself, as he's noted on numerous occasions, always gives me this weepy, canid pup expression as he says as much. He's fortunate I'm under strict orders not to stab him. Only thing not suspicious in this life is when a body points a gun at you. You can rest assured I don't expect these turncoats are as true as their word. We keep them away from heavy machinery and weapons, and we make them earn their keep. Through that, any who ain't truly converted will learn. Sooner or later. Couldn't say. Maybe Milver Street's hearts and minds drivel holds weight after all, though you'll pardon me for not dropping low and begging his forgiveness. The subjects are his problem now. Myself? I'm focused on making sure the Protectorate doesn't bring them back into the fold by force. Not if I were the president of the Aggressive Acquisitions Department, there wouldn't be. But that ain't the case. Yet. My hope is you can aid with that. You approach, you leave, you approach. For all my attention you've spent, I'm no closer to understanding your aims. Indulge an old gun hand. Explain your presence. I'd be more amenable to hearing your wants, and less amenable to shooting you in the belly just to watch you bleed. Approaching me nude suggests a mighty lot, not the least of which is a sense of injudicious overconfidence. Nudism is generally disadvised on the battlefield, unless you're trying the psychological warfare angle, which is beyond my pay grade. But now that I think about it, it ain't beyond Milver Street. Why don't you pay him a visit? Show him this strategy of yours. I know I may seem awash in warm, welcoming sentiment, but I have a war to win. You ain't aiding me. You're wasting valued time. Been working at that spot of business we discussed. Easier to lead with fewer targets nibbling at your psyche. Loose your words. I'm listening. Let me spin you a yarn. One of my elite regiments ceased replying to hails several weeks ago. Hardy bunch. Fought all across the system. Yesterday, the Protectorate launched the regiment commander's upper torso into one of our encampments, which makes 2 1/3 complete corpses of a 6-person unit. Mocking us. Calculating bastards, the Protectorate. Would admire their efficacy if it weren't taking so many of my best and brightest. Once the fighting reignites in full, they'll pay dearly. Ask a loaded question, get a loaded answer. You want diluted truths and empty charm? Milver Street's just around the corner. Pains me to admit such, but for all our losses, we've minimal gains to show. It's all these half measures. Milver Street saw things my way, Paradise Island would be ours by mess. Most hands are troublesome in their own ways. I'm here to do a job, difficult or no, and I'll be damned if I don't do it well. We outmaneuver the Protectorate. Hit them hard, hit them fast. By the time blood sprays dirt, their citizens will have already defected. Fun as it is to discuss reasoning, reckon our time would be better spent focused on business. Man doesn't seem to understand there's an order to things. Convert your enemies after the war ends, not before. Try too early, you got saboteurs, spies, and the unruly. It's a poor use of our resources, inefficient at best, actively detrimental to our work at worst. And if there's one thing I despise worse than our foes, it's the poor use of resources. Soften the enemy first, then isolate their leaders and turn them to bloody mist. No leaders, no unity, no resistance. The Protectorate will fold, but Milver Street stymies my assaults, and Auntie refuses to allot resources due to the associated risk, meaning we're adrift in a sea of inefficiency. Aye, that they do. Dents morale's something fierce. Seems Milver Street is good for something after all. I can almost respect the Protectorate's efficiency, though doing so would be easier while standing on the backs of their capitulating leaders. Oh, I have solutions by the notebook, but my fellows like the sand to enact them. Well, we'll have to see how things change once I'm at the head of Auntie's military divisions. Hardly. Eventually, Auntie will recognize my competence, even if I have to make her recognize it. Seen the crimson side of a battlefield, have you? Do tell. Out here fighting for truth and light in this day and age? Laws. Ain't you an artifact from an age bygone? Good that you're versed in combat. Will serve you well in Arcadia. Like it served me. If you must kill, best to do it well. You may not believe it, but high amid my many goals is bringing an end to the fighting in Arcadia as soon as possible. Looks better for my record, after all. If you imagine you do, I'd be pleased to add you to the extensive tally. Perhaps had might be a better word, considering the losses suffered in this war. But they'll be replaced, tenfold. Sounds like you're more than competent when the situation requires a little elbow grease. Good to know. Law's got a special attention for some folk. Seems they delight in causing mischief and mayhem. May want to keep your head low. Would never have imagined it. Weapons tend to be some of the more straightforward of humanity's inventions. That's the way of war. Condolences, nonetheless. Combat merits losses, but that don't mean they're easy to take. Best buck up. Need a strong constitution if you expect to go up against the Protectorate, and you're not reaching the Vox without doing so. All else fails, you can always engage in upchucking before you enter combat. Won't be as hale, but it beats heaving amidst a firefight. My soldiers are motivated by the desire to climb the ranks. They need motivation to top that. Might be time for them to find a different line of work. You're doing so, or not. Depends entirely on how much you wish to continue living. Take care in the northern regions of the island. Fewer reports from scouts. Heightened degree of danger. Maybe that's something to look forward to. Well, if it isn't the busiest mercenary this side of Tau Ceti. Protectorate's been awful quiet since you did your rooting about. Happy to trade words with you. Always have time for a freelancer in my employ. Here again, I see. Hope you're looking for work. Always happy to jaw with someone work-savvy. Good to see you. You got a need? Mayhaps I can aid. What is it? Now, not to say I question the presence of a wayward sightseer in the midst of a war-torn waste, but it might be safer for us both if I knew your purpose. Never expected the Westport refugees would ever be liable to leave their derelicts. Can't help but hand it to Milver Street, though I sense he had aid. Speechify with the minister. Didn't catch a look at your uniform before. Oh, the reaching arm of the Earth Directorate, wagging its fingers and snagging our pocketbooks. Hope you won't be a problem. Lost your clothes? Or is this some kind of morale-building initiative I ain't heard of? I admire the moxie, if not the according strategy. The peddler of half measures returns. Suppose it's too much to hope that you speak in half sentences. Music to my ears. Just heard tell some of my troops stormed the bridge to the Vox relay. You got 'em to pull up stakes? That's even worse. Never listen to a foreign agent's demands till you know their intentions. Insubordination in Auntie's choice is as frequent and spontaneous as death, and twice as unwelcome. Not to mention some of those bodies we're fixing for my role. Important part is the bridge is in our grasp. I'm planning to keep it that way. Auntie may be displeased, but the results speak for themselves. Such a shame the troops won't be receiving any promotions for their daring. Torres doesn't take much of anything lying down. If he's got what it takes, other opportunities shall arise. If he don't, then I've no further use for him. Appears they've cleared the bridge. Also appears they've suffered massive casualties in the process. Foolhardy decision. Should never have been made without my go-ahead. I'll staff the bridge with my own. But explaining what happened to Auntie will be dire indeed. The Vox, eh? Bent on bloody self-destruction, I could just have my troops dispatch you. Save you the effort. You're here early. I expected you'd be on the receiving end of Milver Street's bluster until close to the end of time. Happy that ain't the case, as I can make use of you. All a half measure earns in war is maimed bodies with nothing to show for it. You'd best come back once you understand my way of thinking. There's a particular holding we shelled early in the war, name of Euphoria Coast Automech Repair Center. Deserves a raising for the length of its blasted name alone. My scouts report recent Protectorate attempts to bring it back to functioning. I need the place sabotaged, lest Automechs return to aid the Protectorate war effort in droves. Certainly could. I wouldn't shed a tear on behalf of those drones, but the Protectorate is used to losing its people, and there'd no doubt be a replacement crew in a week's time. Think all you like. Speak to Milver Street if he ain't already stuck his hooks in you. I'm confident you got the spine for what must be done. Competence recognizes competence. One last thing. Visit the Ministry of Accuracy first to gain credentials that will grant you easy entrance to the repair center. Scouts reported a plume of smoke thick and wide billowing from the facility. Sure didn't seem to be mechanical exhaust. Got more to report? Now, let's talk helping you. There's a bridge gating entry to the northern part of the island. You want to get to the Vox? First step is getting through it. From there, your target's the Skycutter Tower. Seems it was recently reactivated, and by our engineers' metrics, might be useful in overloading the Vox's defenses. Once you pass to the northern end of the island and enter the Skycutter, you'll need to find the tower's power routing controls. Mayhaps you can wreak some chaos at the Vox. Step light, though. There's no Protectorate gallivanting near the tower, which, like as any, means something bloodthirsty lurks within. Stay intact. Good work. Sure it'll aid your path into the Vox. Presuming you keep your nerve. Reckon so. Go to the bridge. Pull your head down low while you're amid my troops, and maybe you'll live to visit the Skycutter Tower. Now, moving on to my aiding you. Normally I'd send you to the bridge and allot troops to aid you, but the bridge has already been cleared. That aside, your target's the Skycutter Tower. Seems it was recently reactivated, and by our engineers' metrics, might be useful in overloading the Vox's defenses. Keep it, by blood and by steel. My troops may have acted without my go-ahead, but I'll be drawn and quartered before I squander what they've given me. It's a Protectorate power generation facility. Utilizes the wilds of the air currents to turn generator rotors or some such nonsense. I care more for logistics than engineering. A heap of fighting. My troops at the forward operating base will assist you, but if you can secure any greater advantages, you'd best do so. Oh, Auntie, I cannot believe what transpired. My troops defied their orders and captured the bridge. Such a shame we can't shoot soldiers for taking their own initiative. Not at the bridge, at least. But the rest of the island shall make up for its absence. Bet my sidearm on it. Make it quick, yeah? Surprised you were ambulatory enough to come by. Milver Street typically buries the unwary under mountains of loaded words. Afraid that don't hold water in Auntie's choice. Something afoul with your urinary tract? Your supervisor should be the first to know. Keen as I am on a dagger between the ribs, I ain't working with someone obfuscating their aims. Could be direct. Feign that you're an assistant of some kind, though you'd have to have some know-how regarding engineering. Get into that facility and make certain it won't ever function again. I look forward to hearing your results. There's an alternate path, but it's blocked by Zeranium. I'll order my troops at the forward operating base to aid you, and you'll punch through together. Wouldn't trust the Protectorate's over-engineered perfection to cook a spratwurst. Give me the no-frills, disposable quality of Auntie's choice any day. Just that Milver Street requested her presence for some mission. Normally, I'd demand to be paid, but I was just glad to get her some work. Trooper Sealong was one of my best enhanced soldiers, but never took to her grafts. Been uncertain what I could rely on her for. So Milver Street holds her contract. Least for now. If you fail, I'll be out nothing, and Auntie shall be none the wiser. And if you succeed, I can't be blamed if my plans came to fruition on their own. Should note, the ministers like to take our working together as a personal affront. Aid me, and I suspect he'll rescind any offer he may have made to you. Do you suggest that our good minister has lost patience with playing fair and now seeks to delve into the oily recesses of brainwashing? Oh, for shame. Forthrightness deserves forthrightness. Would look mightily poor upon me if I let a protectorate backstabber gallivant about without my knowing it. Don't you agree? You threaten me in my own settlement? I so admire your guts. I think I'll cut your belly open and see what they look like. I haven't broken an idealist over my knee in ages. Open your ears wide, friend, for this is a whetstone well scoured. Efficiency saves human lives. Engage a detachment in open combat. Expect dozens dead on both sides. Kill their commander beforehand, and their soldiers will rout without a shot fired. Such is war. Milver Street, for all his book learning, doesn't seem capable of understanding such. I hope you're a sharper sort than he, willing to do what must be done. The local citizenry is welcome to up and leave, if the thought somehow enters their desolate brain pans. Ain't many places they could go to safely, though. Directorate agents betraying their fellows? So much for humanity's best and brightest. A matter of revenge, is it? Mightily effective motivator for the troops. I've no doubt you'll find your target afore long. And I'd prefer not to be shackled to a doddering peacehound. Don't give me information if you like, but don't expect my help neither. My employer would assuredly be filled with wrath if it were my forces I were committing. But enlisting a freelancer on my own dime is hardly committing any forces. Heard you're working for Milver Street. I'd had work for you myself. Honest work, not like Milver Street's. Too late for that, though. Can't abide someone that be wooed by him. You can consider my offer formally rescinded. No reason to believe he wouldn't attempt to sabotage anything I attempted. So happens that I know the feeling from the receiving end. Bevy of ex-lovers who took my losing interest personal. Romance is a transaction, same as anything. If the deal's no good anymore, walk. And if someone tries to cheat you, make them regret it. He's devoted to his half-measures, I'll give him that. But he wouldn't have to wheedle and connive if he knew directness. Milver Street's grinning manipulation won't earn nothing but more of our own dead. Work with me. But a simpler path would be paying a visit to the Ministry of Accuracy, liberating some credentials. Yaysayers ain't capable of suspecting a piece of paper. The repair center itself needs to be permanently put out of commission. Anything else is temporary. I had planned for you to sabotage the automech repair facility, but it recently began functioning again. Best I can figure, some elite engineer visited the place without our kin. Your entryway shall be by way of the bridge. There's an alternate path, but it's uranium clouded. I'll order my troops at the FOB to aid you, and you can punch through together. Though I don't understand your soft-hearted tendencies, you do good work, so I can lower myself to easing your emotional load. Afraid that may be the extent of the work I've got for you, being freelance and all. But it was quite the pleasure working with you all the same. You wouldn't be overstating your aggression to wriggle your way into my good graces, would you? Ain't needed. Efficacy speaks for itself. Anyone still living at that repair facility is safe. They'll be stuck there trying to fix the facility for the whole war. And we won't attack it, since we know it's ruined. Trooper Sealong ain't a fragile wallflower. She's a soldier. And even at reduced efficacy, she's worth 15 of any grunt picked at random. Trooper Sealong agreed to receive a regular stipend in exchange for her contract, the holder of which dictates what she does, within reason. She's got a contract, and she ain't so far gone we can't make use of her. But the fact is, her grafts are holding her back, and it's only getting worse. Don't let it bother you. She's been furloughed for some time owing to her failed grafts. Don't like Milver Street shepherding her about, but he took a liability off my hands. That's all there is to say. Sound convincing? Considered a career in the performance department years ago. Met Milver Street. Transferred out, so did he. At least I've realized I ain't still on stage. The Yaysayers sense they'll soon be cornered and fight all the more fiercely thereof. It won't be easy, but it's the most direct route to the Vox. Enterprising sort, are you? Availing yourself of others' belongings at minimal price? Best keep your hands in your pockets near me. Ever I have need of a deft gun hand again, I'll know where to look. Good doing business. I'd intended to aid you at the Skycutter Tower, but it seems you took more initiative than I expected. Reckon that's the extent of the work I have for you. You wouldn't happen to be looking for work, eh? If so, I'd assuredly have something. I want the Protectorate war effort exsanguinated. You want pay. Or so says my gut. You help me, I help you. Well enough. Offer's open. At least as long as I know you ain't working with Milver Street. You'd best explain yourself. And quick. Did you now? Because my scouts report that the facility began to function after you visited. Awash in empathy, are we? Hell, I knew that I never would have recruited you for this task. Maybe wouldn't have recruited you at all. Oh, I overestimated you. That don't happen much. Guess you didn't do this out of malice, at least. Please. Die. Situation ain't ideal, but I can still wreak havoc within the Protectorate by getting you into the box. Doubt ain't nothing to hang your hat on. I deal in realities. Competence recognizes competence. Get into that facility and make certain it won't ever function again. I look forward to hearing your results. Think you'd best get the fuck out, lest I indulge the inclination to grind you into pieces and feed you to the local terror rays. Our business is at an end. Consider yourself lucky I ain't seen fit to kill you about a dozen times for your disrespect alone. You've tried me more than enough. Get you gone. Ever I have need of a freelancer again, I'll know where to look. Good doing business. If by some miracle your contraption doesn't turn you inside out, it'd give you a much quieter route to the Vox. Much as I'd like the bridge's clearing. Damnation! The idea of a freelancer ambling in and eliminating a target easily as one might swat a glassfly boggles the mind. Such a shame that. Here I was preparing to sing their praises to the heavens, but then maybe it's for the best. I was always terribly tone-deaf. The destruction of the Vox. Fine spot of work, that. You wouldn't happen to know the enterprising spirit who brought it low, would you? Oh, yes, of course. Many such cases, sprats tripping recruits into scuttling entire military emplacements. Truly some nefarious little bastards. Wish I could say I had things needed doing so I could capture your employ. Alas, seems some enterprising soul went and snatched everything you could have done up already. War's chaotic. It is what it is. You're welcome to cross words with me, such as you like. Afraid I can't be of much help to you. Had 2 tasks, but both ended up done before I made your acquaintance. I had intended for you to sabotage the automech repair facility, but I got a report that someone already did so. Inexplicable, but hardly unwanted. Why not keep up the momentum? Can still help one another by getting you to the Vox. Come back when you're less inclined to emulate a back-alley canid. You there! Still got work if you're looking. Shame someone as capable as you is so awash in sentiment. Suspect Milver Street won't have the same use for your killing potential as I. Ah, what a fine day this has been. The Vox relay obliterated. I know not if you had something to do with these events, but if you did, fine work. Not many could have destroyed the relay and escaped with all their appendages. And if that weren't all, the enemy stronghold of Westport found itself in the relay's path. Poor Milver Street. All of his plans scattered to the winds. You want more info, talk to him. Let's focus on the Vox. Well, if it ain't DB Milver Street's newest sycophant, I'm Officer Babylon Kaur, and you can consider that introduction the start and end of our personable relationship. If you'd spoken with me like I suggested, mayhaps the two of us could bandy words, but you didn't. And taking sides with Milver Street means I got no use for you. Competence recognizes competence. Good work. Space me twice. I'd hoped I was rid of your sorry hide. What grievous misfortune brings you back to my town? Don't suppose you've been blackmarked in Auntie's book, too. All that listening to orders proves is that I lack ambition. If you ain't actively moving up in Auntie's choice, someone's gonna move ahead of you. Ain't got my faith in Auntie's other commanders to be mercilessly effective, so I reckon this war's gonna drag on. But that ain't your problem. Or mine. Anymore. Nothing much. Protectorate never advanced. The loss of the Vox relay scattered their defenders like manta gnats in a high wind. Milver Street beat me fair as anything in Auntie's choice. If I'd wanted to surpass him, I shouldn't have passed up all those linguistic manipulation classes in Academy. Enjoy your time in Fairfield. Such as you can. You're welcome to loiter around Fairfield if you desire. But there ain't much to do here, save taking pot shots at stray protectorate gadabouts. I'd march along, if I were you. Only reason I'm still here is 'cause they ain't got another place for me. Or 'cause it's easier to keep me out of the way here. Higher up you are, less you can afford to fail. Afraid I was yesterday's Spratwurst the moment you successfully aided Milver Street instead of myself. Time I would have been more suspicious at the entry of a stranger. But with how active Paradise Island has been, what with the Vox flying off, it's hardly a surprise. Who in the void? Eavesdropping on Auntie's choice business is like to get a body shot for spying, though you're not wanting for moxie. I'll give you that. But which? Well, you seem an observant sort, so I expect you'll tire of Milver Street's bluster soon enough. A surprisingly good point, especially from you. She only forbade us using our own personnel. Be a whole other matter were a stranger to happen to aid one of us. Shame she ain't more pleased. The Vox destroyed and a hive of yaysayers eliminated, all without our committing a body. Personally, I'm elated. Even if I may not show it. Nary a half-second before the sales pitch. You there. Milver Street's like to bore you to death. Survive and come visit me. I can get you business actually worth your time. Come see me before agreeing to whatever absurdity he proposes. Unlike him, I have some work actually befitting your time. I'll be waiting. Finally, somebody else here with the guts to act. I was about ready to start tearing my ears off. Trapped as I was, listening to these running mouths. Pleased to see you. Ain't sure if you heard, but I'm looking at a promotion to president of aggressive acquisitions after what you and I accomplished on Paradise Island. Exactly what I told you. Locate priority foes and bring them low. Make the difficult decisions. Bring the war to a close and look damn fine in the process. You'll see. I owe you more than a few drinks. See me a couple of months down the line, and you and I'll drink Arcadia dry. But for now, go sever some vital arteries for me. There may be a certain lack of flying bullets and spraying blood here, but less excitement's the price of promotion, I reckon. Last I saw him, he was so mad with rage he was chewing on the rim of his hat and growling like a canid. Can't say I'm fond of the fellow, but I can't help but pity him. Anyhow, go give the enemy a good gutting.
You'll pay for every one of mine you murder. You ain't getting away with that. Somebody apprehend this knave. Don't take advantage of our goodwill. What a pain. Watch that grenade. Engaging in melee. Support me. Firing upon them. Seems I earned my keep this day. Enemy found. Open fire. That's it. You'll plague us no longer. Murderous scum. Reap your reward. Time to send you back where you belong. They target me. Troops, press the advantage. Everyone be ready. I suspect our enemies linger. Be wary. Let no one take you by surprise. They resurface. To arms, troops. Unseen is not gone. Search at once. Find them. Pinning targets. Put the pressure on. Still got a good throwing arm.